Today, we're going to be diving into why the Arizona Cardinals did not add any big, impactful players on the offensive side of the ball, why the Arizona Cardinals decided to go full defense in free agency as well as in the draft. We're going to be diving into exactly what Monty Ossenfort said and what can the Arizona Cardinals do to fix it. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But ladies and gentlemen, today we're really going to be talking about the offensive side of the ball here for the Arizona Cardinals because obviously free agency is come and gone. The draft is now come and gone. And now we're kind of sitting back and saying, whoa, okay, we got a complete defensive overhaul, and I'm actually really excited about the defense in the 2025 season. And let's be honest, defensive teams or defense usually wins championships, but the Arizona Cardinals offense, there still hasn't really been a big impactful player added from 2024 and now sitting into 2025. So we're going to be diving into what Monty Ossenfort pretty much said in a nutshell and what can the Arizona Cardinals do and what positions I'm pretty worried about heading into the 2025 season. Now, things can still be fixed, right? From here on out, we still got a lot of things from here until September, until the start of the 2025 regular season. So anything can be fixed, but as of right now, where we're sitting, there has not been a big impactful move happen for the Cardinals. And let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and get started here as to what the Arizona Cardinals can do on the offensive side of the ball and why it was ignored, I guess. But Monty Ossenfort, whenever he was asked about this or how the draft ended up shaking out, because let's be honest, 6 out of the 7 draft picks for the 2025 draft class, they're all defensive side of the ball. Like they're all defensive side of the ball. We had one offensive player, and that was a guard out of Texas. But after that, it was just primarily defense. Now, the Arizona Cardinals defense could have very well used the facelift, and that's probably what the Arizona Cardinals were going to do coming into the 2025 offseason. But the thing is that even in free agency, we went so heavy on the defensive side of the ball, which adding Josh Sweat as well as adding Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. We went so defensive heavy that it kind of made sense for the Cardinals to potentially go after maybe a pass catcher or maybe even a potential guard. Now, let's call it like it is. This draft class was not the best draft for tackles, right? So a lot of those guys that were seen to be the top of the top, they went in the first round. So Monty Ossenfort really came into this with best player available. We ended up choosing Walter Nolan with the 16th overall pick, and honestly, that was a really good pick for the Cardinals. But after that, there was a big drop off in the second round, in the third round, in the fourth round when it comes down to guards and offensive tackles. So the Cardinals really couldn't do anything, right? Like all the players that were seen to be top guards or top tackles in this class, they were gone when you blinked your eye, right? And of course, the Cardinals were sitting in a very, very important decision to make at the second round pick with Will Johnson sitting there. They went after one of the best cornerbacks in the draft if he can stay healthy, right? So there really isn't any big concern as to why the Cardinals didn't go wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. I truly do like what the Cardinals have done. And even in the third round with adding Birch, I thought that was a really good pickup for the Cardinals as well. The way that things landed per Monty Ossenfort, it was literally best player available, and that's the way that the board fell. So you're going to start seeing things from the draft, right? You're going to sometimes see some drafts where it's offensive heavies. You're going to see sometimes where it's going to be a mix of guys. And sometimes you're going to see a very defensive heavy draft. And that's exactly what happened in here in 2025. Now, what we're kind of sitting in right now, because also in free agency, the Cardinals really didn't do very much on the offensive side of the ball, right? We lost some pretty big key people in the offensive line. That's going to be obviously Will Hernandez. There's still some Cardinal fans that would love to bring him back, but the Cardinals did bring back Zay Jones, Greg Dortch. A little earlier, maybe a couple months back, we did add some people, on the offensive side of the ball, like pass catchers, like Tristan Jackson and Quez Watkins, but none of them are really needle movers. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say Greg Dortch is not a needle mover. I like Greg Dortch. I really, really do. Now, if you have not been following this channel, you don't really know how much I actually do love Greg Dortch. It's just, I'm just very curious to figure out why the Cardinals were going to run it back and not maybe mix it up or change it up here in the 2025 season. But That's what the Cardinals are going to decide to do, or at least that's what it feels like the Arizona Cardinals are going to decide to do. Now, if you're taking a look at the wide receivers that are available currently right now in the open market, there's not very many available. I'm going to be real. Like, there's not very many available for the Arizona Cardinals to go after and say, I want you, come on in, and you're going to help out our roster tremendously, right? I think the best three that are available right now, last I look, is Amari Cooper, which there was some kind of links to the Cardinals, and it was more projections more than anything that the Cardinals would benefit from adding like an Amari Cooper or a veteran. And honestly, right now, I probably would take him if the Cardinals were to look his way. Will it happen? I don't know, but Amari Cooper is one of the best that are out there. Elijah Moore, which would fit more what I'm looking for as a wide receiver, a guy that's going to give you the slot reps, a guy's going to be able to create separation. So Elijah Moore is also available, and I think last I heard he's actually visiting with the Buffalo Bills. So maybe he signs with them and he might not be available. And then after Elijah Moore, it's probably Keenan Allen, right? So you got two veterans, and then you got another veteran, which is not probably seen as a big name out there, but like that wide receiving core is really drying up in terms of the free agent market. Will the Cardinals run with the guys that we currently have right now? Probably, right? Now, what I would actually like to see, obviously Greg Dortch get the nod, but I really would love to see Xavier Weaver, undrafted free agent last year, right? Last year we undrafted him or brought him in as a UDFA out of Boulder. He was one of the top targets for Shedeur Sanders in that Boulder offense. Or are we going to start seeing Xavier Weaver take that next step? I mean, that would be cool. Honestly, that would be absolutely cool. But what we see with the offense is the only way or the only reason why we saw Xavier Weaver in that small sample size is when Marvin Harrison Jr. got hurt in the Packers game. That's when you started to see a little bit of Xavier Weaver, which was really cool. I really want to see what he can do. And at the end of the day, it's all based off opportunity, right? It's all based off opportunity. So if we do start seeing a little bit more Xavier Weaver, or if truly Greg Dortch beats out, all these other guys, then I think at the end of the day, we'll be all right. But I don't know. I think I would feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable, maybe potentially adding another wide receiver, an impactful guy that does it in the NFL. That's, I think we can all kind of breathe a sigh of relief. But as of right now, the only guys I'm really confident in the wide receiving core is Marv and then Michael Wilson. I like Greg Dortch, like I said, but there could be some sort of upgrade, right? And there's also Zay Jones as well, which we brought in last year, but missed the first 5 games due to suspension, obviously. So what the Cardinals are going to do at the wide receiver, core, they might keep it as is, or they might add one of the three guys that I mentioned. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how it shakes out. But the wide receiving core is not the only concern that I have on the offensive side of the ball. We are also talking about potential offensive line help as well, because right now the only guys that I'm confident in is probably that left side of the offensive line and the center with Elijah with Froholt, right? So Paris Johnson Jr., I think he's a fantastic sixth overall pick. Now he does get a little handsy. There's a lot of a few holding calls coming his way, which hopefully he cleans up. But I really do like him as a bookend in the left tackle. Evan Brown, very underrated. I definitely think he's going to be a really good player for the Cardinals. He did a good job last year, and hopefully he just translates. Froholt's been pretty darn underrated as well. I really do like him as our center. The right-hand side of the offensive line, that's where I'm concerned, right? The right guard primarily is where I'm concerned with. Right now we have, per ESPN's depth chart, we got Royce Newman as our our starting right guard. I'm not confident in that at all. Now, are the Cardinals going to give Isaiah Adams the leg up, which is the rookie that we drafted last year, now going into his year two? Isaiah Adams, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he does get the nod for the Arizona Cardinals, but there's still some concern on that right side of that line. And then on top of that, Jonah Williams, right? I think right now, Jonah Williams is going to be the guy for the Cardinals at right tackle. Biggest thing is, can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy for the Arizona Cardinals? And if he can, let's hope that he gets better than when he came back, because Kelvin Beachum did a good job. When Jonah Williams went down, Kelvin Beachum did a good job. It's just you're paying Jonah Williams that amount of money. He's going to have to find a way to work out, right? He's going to have to. So if not him, like I said, that right side of the line really is concerning to me. And I would love the Cardinals to potentially add some pieces, right? But like I said, if you're looking at the free agent market right now, you're not going to get anybody that's going to be a big needle mover for you, right? Especially in the wide receiving core and in the right guard and right tackle core as well. Like, you're not going to be able to get anybody better than we're currently sitting with right now. I mean, maybe you can, but I think right now, the Arizona Cardinals, they did a fantastic job on the defensive side of the ball. And now I feel like we got to pay a little attention to the offensive side of the ball. Wide receiver, primarily that third wide receiver, and then on top of that, that right hand side of um, the offensive line is really where I'm concerned with. But I'm not mad at the way that Monty Ossenfort, approached this offseason, right? Especially free agency, bringing in a guy like Josh Sweat. That's the closer we all needed, right? Bringing in Dalvin Thompson after he was released by the Cleveland Browns. Jumped on the opportunity, got himself a dog, right? So I love these moves, and Calais Campbell bringing him back as well. These are guys that I love the moves that the Cardinals ended up doing. It's just the offensive side of the ball was, I'm not going to say ignored, but it almost kind of felt like we're going to be running it back with the same wide receiving core. And I'm a little worried as to, is that going to be enough, right? Is that going to be enough to provide the appropriate amount of weapons for our current quarterback, right? Because this is a big year. This is a big year for the Arizona Cardinals offense, and we've seen too many inconsistencies in the last part of the season after the bye week with the Arizona Cardinals. The miscommunication between Marv and K1, that needs to get cleaned up. I don't want to see any more as much miscommunications as we've seen at all. Trey McBride obviously is probably the best pass catcher that we got in this team, and he's going to be force fed still. But outside Marv, Michael Wilson, and Trey McBride, which is still really solid weapons, right? I would like that one guy that's going to be able to spread the field, take the top off of a defense, and right now I do not think we got that on this team right now. But ladies and gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts here on the Arizona Cardinals and how they approached this offseason? Are you worried about the offensive side of the ball, or are you going to sit back and say, nah, I think we're good, right? I think we're good. Defense wins championships, and that's the way we're going to play it. Let me know here in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.